Everyone, my name is Loretta Bosing. I am the founder of Unite for Safe Medications and also the mother of a child who is a transplant survivor, and his life relies on medications every 12 hours. I'm also here today to represent 164,000 people across our nation who have signed a petition on change.org to stop the forcing of mail-order pharmacy. I started the petition after being forced to mail-order pharmacy for my son's life-saving medications and finding out the hard way that mail-order pharmacy is very risky. Due to pharmacy benefit managers and mail-order pharmacies not warning patients about the risk with mail-order pharmacy and temperatures, I had to find out on my own that mail-order pharmacies are not regulated by the FDA, and the state boards of pharmacy are not ensuring the protection of our medication during shipping, as medications are left in only bags without sensors and in mailboxes and trucks that exceed 120 to 170 degrees. Most medications are not protected from the freezing temperatures, and even with foam coolers up north, medications such as insulin are still arriving frozen. After my child's liquid oral medications arrived on a 102-degree day in only a bag, my child went into transplant rejection. I almost lost my son, and I almost lost the gift of a 3-year-old little girl that lives on inside of him. After the manufacturer and the FDA told me to discard my son's medication, after shifting such temperature extremes without protection, I found out quickly that the PBM's mail-order pharmacies were untruthful, not just to me, but also to our employer. Recently, we were forced to mail-order pharmacy supposedly due to the cost. But upon learning that my son's medications wouldn't be protected from the temperature extremes, and learning that they could not just lose potency but also become toxic when exposed to extreme temperatures, I began pleading for my son's life. I made over 30 to 40 calls to CVS Caremark begging them, please do not make me risk his life. CVS Caremark, they wouldn't budge. After a couple months later, actually before I say that, the doctor even wrote in a pill, to pick up the medications locally. And CVS Caremark denied the physicians a pill. The only way that we won safe access to my child's medication was because the media became involved. We were told again that the mail-order pharmacy would save money, but I quickly discovered that CVS Specialty Mail-Order Pharmacy reimbursed their own pharmacy 80% more than they reimbursed our trusted local pharmacy. Forced mail-order pharmacy, just like drones and vending machines, it's not about pharmaceutical care or patient safety. It's about profits. After starting the petition, I quickly gained support and learned over 100 other risks with mail-order pharmacy other than temperatures. Most of the patients that shared, and they continue to share their stories, were forced against their will to mail-order pharmacy as the only option of coverage for their life-saving medications. The stories that I hear daily are absolutely appalling. A faulty value-based system enables PBMs to reward their own pharmacies more for meeting certain standards. Yet the PBMs, mail-order pharmacies, that many are being forced to across our nation, if you look on the Better Business Bureau, they either have an F rating or 1 star. I don't know of any other business that can continue to see record-breaking stock values with such poor quality ratings. Again, this is an obvious sign that mail-order pharmacy, it's not about patients, it's not about us, it's about their profits. Thousands of lives are risked from the abuses of PBMs solely for nothing more than profits. Their greed has no limits. There's unnecessary delays and interruptions of treatments and medications that at one time we could have in our hands in 15 minutes. The same medications are now taking 5 to 7 days. There have been MS patients that have lost their ability to walk. Adult and children with cancer are experiencing unnecessary interruptions in their chemotherapy treatments that could hinder patient outcomes or prevent them from beating cancer. Pregnant women with diabetes are unable to eat because their medications don't arrive on time. For other patients, their insulin up north arrives frozen and ineffective. And sadly, one of the hardest things for me to see is transplant patients like my son, whose life depends on medications every 12 hours. Their medications don't arrive on time. Patients have been injured, they've died due to medication administration errors that could have been prevented with a crucial face-to-face relationship with a trusted pharmacist. Sadly, it's only after the mail order pharmacy risks our lives that they'll sometimes approve a one-time override for patients to fill at a local pharmacy. No one is planning ahead. Where will these patients go for emergency refills when our pharmacies close? What did we do as patients to deserve to be forced to use a one-star or F-rated pharmacy? What did we do to be forced to risk our lives and the lives of our children, and to have the critical relationship with our trusted pharmacy removed? What did entire communities do to have the only pharmacist in our area removed from their coverage, or they're forced to close due to the greed of the PBM's unethical practice? The steering away from our trusted pharmacists and the low reimbursements don't just put patients' lives at risk, but the lives of entire communities and our nation. Our nation's health is also at risk. Patients' lives depend on choice of pharmacy and safe access. PBMs don't prescribe drugs, they don't manufacture drugs, and they don't dispense drugs, but somehow they've figured out a way to make billions of dollars off of the drug marketplace at the expense of patients. As patients and caregivers, I think it's about time we start getting the benefits that we're entitled to without having to navigate the complex hurdles that PBMs require everyone to jump through. Thank you.